Senior Chief Petty Officer Cleveland A. Knowles III, the United States Navy, and the United States Coast Guard. We honor his wife, his children, his
This one straight out
parents,
of Psalm
and every
23.
shipmate who has sharpened him along the way. Iron sharpens iron, brick by brick. This is the house he built.
What does retirement mean to me? Look at me, bro. Like, I'm bandaged up.
He restore my soul.
Retirement looks like healing to me. Getting my time back, spending quality time, rediscovering myself, learning new skills, learning new things about me, and getting the medical attention, the help that I need to recovery, bro. That's what retirement means to me. Living a better life, spending time, quality time with my family. I was in the Navy for logistics specialist is what they call it now. At the time, it was called ship serviceman, SA. On board of supply, we handled the ship stores and laundry and inventory of all the key dump that coming in and whatnot. I was in the Navy for 5 years. What made me join the Navy? Well, that's a interesting story. I joined the Navy by kind of forced to join the Navy, to be honest with you, for better lack of words, lack of resources. I needed help with college, life in general. My brother had joined the Navy. He had called home and he was excited about it. I was up in college, FAMU, having the best life of my life, best time of my life. And yeah, he called and said, "Hey, bro, I'm about to join the Navy. You want to join with?" And I was like, "Nah, I'm good." Long story short, I go home for Christmas break. Family was happy. He was about to go off to the Navy. And that's when everyone kind of started looking at you, shifting their attention to the other person in the room. They're asking, "All right, what do you want to do? What are you going to do?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to go back up to school." That didn't sit right with the family, and they kind of encouraged me to join the Navy with my brother. I did so, and 5 years later, it was history. I can't even tell you how my experience was, bro. It's like I was so doggone. I was in La La Land, to be real with you. I don't know where the hell. I don't know where I was going. I've never been on a plane before. I'm from Belle Glade, Florida, man. I've never been out of the state of Florida before. I've been out of the state of Florida, but not as an adult, as a man traveling the world like that. I've never been traveling on my own. So I was just following other people. It was a glimpse. Like, I can't remember everything and how I got to boot camp. It's like one of them things where you just trick your mind because you about to go into an environment that you can't prepare for. I wasn't prepared for, to be real with you. It's like a college type environment, college/prison type environment. You know what I'm saying? Like type. But yeah, you grow a brotherhood with the close knit of your division of people that you're around, you work around, you're training around, and usually it's people like from similar backgrounds, people that have the same interests as you do. Or have reminders of people in your family that you do. That's why I said Derek Rashi kind of reminded me of my uncle. Some of the stuff that he would say, how he moved, how he carried himself, kind of reminded me of my uncle. What drew me into the Coast Guard was the missions. The missions were more geared to, homeland security. You guarding the coast of America. You're not going off to war, fighting battle. It's more of a humanitarian service. And I wanted to give back in that fashion. And what made me choose culinary is food. Food is life for me and my family. I grew up around food. All of our gatherings was tailored around food, prayer, everything that dealt with food, And I wanted to learn how to make people happy, enjoy food. For my last year in the Navy, that's when I got married, and I met my wife at Wild Out Wednesday. We was back in Virginia at the club, and the rest was history. Fell in love with her. She gave me that piece that was missing in my life at the time: stability, love, family. Her family took me in as one of their own, and at that time I had a newborn child, a Layla, and that was my main priority, was to be a provider for my family and make sure that I sacrifice, do whatever I got to do to take care of them. I don't regret not a damn thing. Well, I did it. I did it right. I don't care what nobody say, man. I went out, I balled, performed at a high level, provided for my family, you know, defeated the odds. I got in trouble a couple times. I know you asked me that, but yeah, I learned from my mistake, bounced back every time I made a mistake, and I kept God first, family first, and about my business the whole time. My name is Senior Chief Cleveland Knowles, ranked Senior Chief E8 in the Coast Guard. And achievements, I would say my greatest achievement are my family, friends, close loved ones. And I don't I don't like, I can take all this off. Those were not achievements to me. My achievements are my family.
Let's see. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought. Facing the rising sun till victory is won.
Funny. He's from home. Born and raised in Belle Glade, Florida. Same dirt my brother grew up on. Family, please give it up for the comedian of the evening. The comedian is
He's a good about boogie. Now, had I known, this is what I didn't know. I didn't know that he was the retiree when he booked me online. You know, I thought he was just a little online playing golf with his little wife and stuff. No, I thought he had no money, so I gave the little cheap price. When I pulled up out here, I instantly got it down to
Yeah, and I lost a little weight, not enough to be going up and downstairs like that. I don't know. I ain't gonna lose too much weight. I'm at a good sex trafficking weight. Yeah.
And I knew I'm gonna be a good picture when I came back from the bathroom. All y'all was there. Another thing I noticed, I see children running around in here saying stuff that I'm just not familiar with. Dang.
welcome everybody. I am Corey Knowles, and tonight I have the honor of standing before you, not just as your master of ceremonies, but as a proud brother. 24 years ago, my brother raised his right hand. Tonight we are here to thank him for keeping it.
Let's go.
This is the certified that Gina Knowles has earned grateful appreciation for her unselfish, faithful, and devoted service during her husband's Coast Guard career in Navy. Her unfailing support and understanding helped to make possible her husband's lasting contribution to the nation. Given this 10th day of July, 2026, Kevin Lundy, Admiral, U.S. Coast Guard Commandant.
Tonight we honored Senior Chief Petty Officer Cleveland A. Knowles III for 24 years of faithful service across two branches: the United States Navy, the United States Navy, and the United States Coast Guard. We honor his wife, his children, his parents, and every shipmate who has sharpened him along the way. Iron sharpens iron, brick by brick. This is the house he built.
Yeah. Man, I look at this crowd, man. This is a beautiful crowd. I love this. I know he says Sailor Made crew, but it's just me. The rest of my team, I made sure they were working today because we busy. If you've never seen or heard of the term Sailor Made, I own a company called Sailor Made Custom Woodworks. We specialize in building custom creations that honor service members all over the world. We build one-of-a-kind art pieces, and you'll get to see one of those shortly. When Trey reached out to me and said that, hey, there was nobody else that I would want other than Sailor Made to make something special for me, it touched me. And as we got to talk and know each other, I thought it was pretty cool because, he's from Florida. I'm born and raised in New York. I currently live in Florida. That's where I'm based out of now. Actually, not too far from Cocoa Beach. I'm in Rockledge. So we're neighbors. We're in Brevard County together. Yeah, we're right there. But I'm a retired senior chief. He's about to be a retired senior chief. I didn't quit though. I stayed in the Navy. He quit and went to the Coast Guard, but I won't hold that against him. He's still doing his thing. I was also a recruiter. I was one of the top recruiters in the nation. He's doing his thing as a recruiter here in Atlanta. And I just, as we got to speak more and more, I got to see how much our lives kind of reflected each other. Even though we were born in different places, the universe kind of brought us together, and we're not so different, him and I. I just happen to be a Puerto Rican and Colombian kid from New York. He's a brother from Florida, doing his thing, representing, loving what he does, serving his country honorably. And so tonight, before I get into because I'm gonna tell y'all really quick, this man is meticulous. I ain't never seen something like this before, and I've been to a lot of ceremonies. It's amazing to see. Like he had this thing written down in acts. Like this is a straight up movie, y'all. This straight up movie. And I love every second of this, and you deserve every moment of this, brother. Yeah. So I know we've been going for a while, so I won't draw this out too much further, but I will say I want to give y'all a quick history of what the shadow box is. All right. So a shadow box is often given to a sailor who was meant to never sail again, right? After they've done their time, whether it was several years or if it was going to 20 years and making it to retirement. At that time, or this tradition actually goes all the way back to the days of wooden ships when when ships had sails on them. And it was often believed that it would be bad luck for a sailor's shadow to touch dry land before the sailor did, because they would feel that the sea would call him back. So what was constructed back in the day was a box, and it would usually be like a brace of pistols, a fine sword, pieces of their uniform, and things that reminded them of their career, placed into a box and then covered, so that when they reached shore, his shadow wouldn't touch ground before he did, so that he could return home peacefully to his family. And today, we get to give him back. He gets to go home to his beautiful wife, kids. He has a moment to just reflect. So I won't draw this out any further, brother. I'm ready to show you and present everybody your shadow box. I'm gonna have to step off stage real quick, so bear with me, because as you can see, he doesn't do anything generic, right? Anything ordinary. So he did it big, and I'm happy to be a part of this, and I can't wait to show everybody your idea come to life.
Let's go.
All right, let's do this.
Explain
Go.
yourself. I'm 62. My soul only find rest in God. Not the numbers, not the club. I done tried leaning on fragile walls. They crumble quick when pressure comes. He might rock my steady ground when everything else move around. I don't panic when they speak too loud. I've been anchored before the sound. How long y'all gonna rush me still? Trying to knock me down with force and will. Leaning fence, crooked scale. Look solid, but you're bound to fail. They blessed with lips, cursing thoughts, smiles cheap, intentions, but I see it clear. But I don't swing.
Here goes nothing. I'm trying to hold it all in while I acknowledge the ones I love. Shout out to Rodney. I went to his ceremony. He freestyled everything. But the way that my mind works, I know about freestyle, everything will be down some conspiracy theory bag hole. So I'm gonna stick to the script. First and foremost, I gotta give thanks to God for being here, because Lord knows. Because Lord knows if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be. I think I might be the greatest DI hire. Because if you look at my background, I'm a walking testimony of what he can do. He must increase, and I must decrease. I want to thank my ancestors for paving the way and putting in me everything I'm standing on tonight. I fall short of his glory and theirs all the time, because they were some amazing people. Quick story. Every morning before we walked to school, my grandma had us read the 23rd Psalm to her out loud. Every single morning, I still read it to this day and still get goosebumps every time I read it. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. The way that woman took care of her family and the whole neighborhood, that is the foundation of my faith.
Just God.
And my grandfather, the man I'm named from, taught us hard work, accountability, community, and the value of a good name. Mom, Pops, y'all carried the baton and made a way out of no way, time after time. You did it with love, respect, and a big old smile and a Bible verse for whatever you was going through at the time. I'm not the same person that you sent off to boot camp, but the morals and values you put in me are still intact. You couldn't always be in person, but you were there in every letter, every card, every care package, every prayer, all of it landed right on time. Pops, your daily counsel and wisdom got me here. None of your sacrifice was undone. To my kids, my future grandkids, my nieces and nephews, you might wonder, how did I get here? I do too. I ask myself that question every day. Well, it started in 2002 when I walked into the recruiting office. I ain't gonna lie, I ain't know nothing about nothing when it came to the Navy. I walked in and I said, sign me up for whatever they're doing. It's funny, but it's true. I'm sorry, y'all, but that moment, I don't know why it made me feel that way, but it did. I had no clue what I was signing up for. Just knew that I didn't have the resources for the life I wanted. I guess I effed around and found out. I found out quick, too, that I should have asked more questions in that office. Yeah, because for the first time, this young man from Belle Glade, Florida was alone, you know? And it really didn't hit me until boot camp graduation. I walked across that stage and there was nobody. There was nobody in stands for me, just life, God, and His Word cycling through my mind on a loop. Greater is He that is in me than he that is in this world. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. No weapon formed against me shall prosper. I believe life is a series of tests. And you don't move on to the next one until you learn the lesson. You know, Book of Job type vibes. Although, with some of these tests, I truly believe that God had a sense of humor when dealing with me. I just think He wanted to see how I react to certain things. Yeah, I guess He got a good laugh too. My next set of lessons came at my first unit, USS Theodore Roosevelt. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And shout out to my crew, to everybody that's aboard the TR. Thank you guys for making a way here. Yeah. That was my first crew, man. You guys are the realest, most lit crew I've ever been a part of. Dion, my brother from my mother, we was thick as thieves. My dog Derek, he was Unc before Unc. You know, he throwback Unc. And Cynthia, she was a true definition of a friend and a shipmate and made everyone feel welcome. And Loxley, the island boy. The island boy. Yeah. That boy, he had the same accent as my grandfather, so it kind of like, it kind of vibe. I like that. Moms and pops, y'all might judge my salty language tonight. Well, I'll keep it clean. But understand, y'all sent me off to serve with some stone cold killers. Try to tell you. Yeah, it was worth it. And it was all kinds of debauchery on that boat that I'm just not going to talk about. But there was some real bonds formed, real leadership, and some port calls that I probably will never tell my grandkids about. That was my can't get right era. It was not. I had a spark when I first started. Then boom, just like that, life humbled me. And right when I was ready to crash out, ready risk it all. Mom sent the most thoughtful care package with one instruction. Son, read Psalm 27. I read it, even though I didn't want to. I was just dealing with a lot. A lot was on my plate at the time. But I read it. And by the end of that season, I believe God was just telling me something. And Will had mentioned I quit, but God was just telling me, Trey, this ain't for you, bro. You keep getting in trouble. You gotta, you better find something else and you get locked up in this place. As a new husband and a new father, walking away was one of the hardest decisions I ever made. But it taught me a lesson in humility I still carry. Sometimes we sound crazy trying to explain things that don't need explaining. Learn to recognize when you're at that point. And just be quiet. That first transition was rough. I had been counting down the seconds to leave. Celebrate, boy, bragging to y'all, boy. Y'all stuck. Then it came. That transition came, and so did life. The phone stopped ringing. The visit tray pound list got shorter and shorter. Back to feeling alone. Well, not alone, because I had my family, my God, and my community. My in-laws. God, I love y'all, man. My in-laws, Michael and Jackie White, carried me through that season. They took me in like I was their own. Church, business meetings, cookouts. Everywhere they went, I went. Shout out to Pop Mike, man. He had every leadership known to man in the elevator pitch that was out of this world. Y'all move a class. Integrity and ambition, the agape way. And I needed that. I needed that exactly kind of love that at one of the most vulnerable moments of my life. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't miss the camaraderie of my crew. Then just like that, my reserve unit cut me orders for weight. When he sent me those orders, I complained to everybody who had ears to see if they can get me out of it. One night while I was venting, a fellow sheriff deputy, he said, you should check out the Coast Guard. And like most people from my background, I didn't know anything about the Coast Guard, so I just asked, what's a Coast Guard? But that night changed my life. Right after it, I walked into the local recruiting office. The recruiter said, I can get you on those orders, but you're going to piss a lot of people off. I told him, I hear you. And I don't owe them people nothing. I don't know them people. You know what I'm saying? I got to do what's best for me and my family. So let's make it happen. So Coast Guard boot camp, round 2 hit different, though. I was older. I knew how to move. But Coast Guard, I was unfamiliar with your game. But I knew I had one mission: dodge every crash out opportunity and get home to my family. And this time at graduation, I didn't care who was in the stands. I just wanted my certificate, my orders, get off to Culinary A school. Because in my family, everything revolves around food. My grandma had the best pork chops on the block. You know what I'm saying? My Aunt Llewellyn had the best dressing, mac and cheese. Aunt Sonia had the cakes. Mom had the banana pudding smacking. Pops was the grill master. And Kiana, she had that cheesecake. She didn't make a cheesecake since we've been married, but it's all good. But you had that cheesecake back then. It was smacking, though. I ain't gonna lie. It's all good, boo. After A school, I was charged up, simple apparatus to the max. First unit, Coast Guard cutter Harriet Lane. Out the gate, my chief said, man, you got a remarkable palate. My cooking was bold, full of flavor, like your boy, And it always took a special kind of leader to lead me, because I'm not a get in to fit in or go along to get along type of dude. So Shout out to Master Chief Kip Rice, who empowered me to shine and to be me, unapologetically Black. I know talking about race makes some people uncomfortable. I'm comfortable in my skin, and I'm open to every culture in this room. That's life. Kip taught me the value of investing in your people, not with money, but with time. He taught me the craft of being a great chef and a great leader. He gave me one rule, and I have handed that rule down to every junior member since. If you don't like your unit, make rank and bounce. He put me onto the Black Trailblazers of the service, the P Island crew, Captain Michael Healy, the Sparrows. And he showed me what it looked like to put your ankles aside and get dirty. Then came independent duty on board the Coast Guard cutter Frank Jew, my new unit. Who this? I came in guns a-blazing, ran straight into the buffet of trials and tribulations on that boat. Shout out to the Coast Guard cutter Frank Jew. I'm pretty sure there's nobody from that unit here, but shout out to y'all. So I came in straight in with trials and tribulations that I do not care to discuss. But what I will do is honor the elders who got me through it. My father, Navy veteran, and my father-in-law, Michael White, retired Army. They gave me some amazing counsel. I ain't gonna hold you. And after talking to Pop White, man, you talk to your elders and you tell them your problems. And then you hear about what they went through. It just made me tuck my little problems in. So from there, it brings me to Sweet Home, Alaska, Coast Guard cutter Sycamore. As bad as I wanted to get off the Frank Jew, I did not want to go to Cordova, Alaska. I ain't gonna hold y'all. And again, I call everybody who had ears to get me out of it, and nobody helped. I swear, boy, when they were trying to get me out of it, they sent a whole brigade of the white brigade of people to tell me, "Oh, you're gonna love Alaska, dude. You're gonna love the hunting, the fishing." It ain't work, but it worked, Cordova was a change of pace my family needed. We went all in. The community, the schools, the Coast Guard. I got rid of my phone and went completely off the grid. It is the most beautiful, quietest place I have ever lived. And I told you it takes a special kind of leader to lead me properly. Enter the chat, Commander James Jarnack. My first day aboard Sycamore, I toured the ship, met my new crew, walked in the sculler and cried like a baby boy. I was like, golly. They had outdated equipment, depleted morale. I stood there and I said, God, Lord, I don't know who I made mad, and I don't know why I'm here, but I trust you. Guide me, and I hope you're right. Then I went off to work with every lesson I've ever learned. We started with the mom. I established morning motivation rule, one quote every single morning for whoever had the first shift. Straight out of my father-in-law's library. Then we got buy-in. Got my hands dirty and introduced a new standard of cooking. When a new captain reported aboard, I knew one thing. Food is powerful. So me, John Brown, Andrew Natal, and Sean T. rolled out the red carpet with a spread the whole city talked about. Then I started writing my weekly menu for his signature. I messed up this man's name twice. Probably more than twice, but I messed up his name twice. On the menu, I put James J. Jarnack. Your L's look like J's for some reason. And then, and instead of scolding me, this man looks at me and says, "Hey, it's James L. Jarnack. The L is for luscious." I used to go by Juicy, but not anymore. From that day on, we was rocking. In the CS world, they say you're only good as your last meal. And Captain Jarnack, hands down, the most positive CO I've ever served under. Smooth from the crib, even keeled at all times. Before our big galley inspection, he reviewed my inventory sheet looked me dead in the eye and said, Trey, I'm with you, but you better have your in one sock. To this day, I don't even know what that means, but I understood the assignment. We had each other's back from that point forward. Off of Sycamore came a recommendation to instruct at Training Center Petaluma, the best place to live, work, and train. I called Kip, who was the A school chief by then, and asked him straight up, is there room for me there? Because I'm black. Black, not corporate, bruh. He laughed and assured me my energy and my style of leadership were exactly what was needed. I showed up nervous, no classical culinary background, less experienced than most of the chefs on the base. I used it as fuel. I took on every hard task I could find. I practically lived on that base. Made chief in under a year. And where making rank used to mean I could leave early, at the Tracing, making rank means more responsibility. I was all in. I took over the CS school chief, as CS school chief, adopted a little philosophy y'all heard me say 1,000 times. It'll buff out. Absolutely rock that joint, because I believe this with my whole chest. Keep your intentions pure, and whatever you're going through in life, it'll naturally buff out. The hard work opened up one more door. The food service assistant and training team. Shout out to FSAT. I know y'all in the building. Chris, whose attention to detail was on a whole nother level. Brianna, who could take policy and teach it so people can easily digest it. We were cooking, man. We was rolling, living our best lives. And boom, just like that. Trials and tribulations. COVID-19. COVID-19 was a buzzkill for everybody. Travel ceased, and we went back to instructing and managing members on restriction of movement. And I told you, God has a unique way of letting me know when it's time to go. For me, it was that virus and everything our country walked through that season. I was tasked with leading training on racism and discrimination for every member attached. It was mentally and emotionally draining, but it taught me perspective, that our life experiences shape our reality, all of ours. After some therapy, and yes, Senior Chiefs goes to therapy, and yes, it works, and a whole lot of venting sessions with Brianna, a door opened that I had never once considered, recruiting. I put a package together, months of waiting, then word came back, accepted. Next destination, Atlanta. Big ATL, back close to my family in Florida and Virginia. Start to play this, girls. Let's ride. Sweet home Atlanta. Shout out to the Peaches. I don't know why I put that in. In true trade fashion, and I came in hot, ready to rock and roll and show off every talent acquisition skill I had. The crew matched my energy and was ready to cook. What I didn't account for was the long tail of the vid. No schools, everything was virtual, numbers under pressure, stress was high. The mission looked impossible, but the team was thorough. We did everything imaginable outside the box. We fell short of that number, but we never fell short of effort. And then in February 15, 2022, my life changed forever. We were caretaking my father-in-law at that time. I walked into work, sat down at my desk, and asked myself, Trey, why are you here? You should be home. Moments later, my phone rang. It was my wife, Kiana. She said, come on, Pops, let's head to the emergency room. That day rearranged me, family first, everything else after. This career has been a roller coaster, ups and downs, and one epic ride. Folks always ask when I was going to retire, and I gave them the same answer every time. In the words of Drake, the moment I stop having fun with it, then I'm done with it. Well, it never really stopped being fun. But I've been on this roller coaster long enough that I'm starting to feel like I'm about to throw up. I guess this is what a divorce party feel like. When the chance came to ladder over and keep going, one more move, one more chapter, I finally understood the lesson underneath all the other lessons. If you stay complicit with things that compromise your morals, you will lose yourself in the journey. Until the man in the mirror becomes somebody you don't recognize. And what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Reese, bro, thank you. Thank you. I can't thank you enough, man. Thank you for taking the ham, for all your support. You're going to be an awesome chief. Tia, Gary, Nikolai, Michelle, John, Danny, Amanda, Rhett, really, Rail, Teresa. It was a nice run. We killed it, man. We killed it. We absolutely killed it. And last but certainly not least, my family, Kiana. Thank you for making my life easy. Thank you for making my life easy. And for making our home a home, no matter what zip code the Coast Guard had handed us. You have been more than a phenomenal mother and an exceptional wife. Still trying to figure out why you put up with my crap, but as always, it'll buff out. Okay? Alayla, Italia, you two are my reason to strive to be the best version of myself every single day. Thank you. Thank you for your love, your support, and your positivity. I don't always get it right, but in the words of old Nina Simone, I'm just a soul whose intentions are good. Oh Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. Because at the end of the day, I'm just a man doing his best. Praying the Lord, don't let me be understood. 24 years, 2 services, 1 God, 1 family. Iron sharpens iron, brick by brick. I want to add to this and thank everybody who showed up. Thank you to the Coast Guard auxiliaries. Thank you to the DJ. Thank you for the staff here. Thank you for the bagpipe player, 2K Films. Will with a phenomenal presentation. You know, Will, he did that on his own dime. He didn't have to do that. And that's love. Shout out to everybody, man. God is good. God is real. Life is
I
beautiful.
don't flinch. I don't fall. Ain't my rock, my salvation. I won't be shaken. My soul be still. Wait on God. He my fortress. I won't be shaken. And no fear. Just God.